Everybody's talking about Neon Trees coming to the Vogue this fall, and Cody had the chance to catch up with the lead vocalist Tyler Glenn about tour life and their new song that drops today. Such a humble guy. Check it out.
Born from the Provo, Utah pop punk scene, Neon Trees has since grown up on the charts, streaming platforms, social media. They have one of my all-time favorite songs that just absolutely slays, and I love that we're talking with you guys. No doubt the next album on the horizon is also going to follow suit. Joining me now ahead of their performance at the Vogue this fall is Neon Trees frontman Tyler Glenn. Tyler, thank you so much. I have to tell you, Everybody Talks was like my summer hit for a solid 2 summers, and I still have it on a lot of my burned CDs, if that ages me a little bit. So
oh no, I used to burn CDs too, so I got you. That's awesome.
Well, thank you so much for spending some time with us. Tour Life calls you once again, this time in honor of your new latest single, Favorite Days, which is fantastic as well. I was just listening to it in the office. What are you guys looking forward to this time around when you go back out on tour?
We're so grateful to get to do it again. I think, during the pandemic, obviously it was hard for everybody, but there was a lot of a narrative of maybe touring never coming back, especially in those darker days when we're all locked in. And I think for us and the 4 of us, we're just so have so much gratitude for the fact that we get to still do this in our career and get to hop in a bus. Like we're rehearsing right now, building the set and the show. And it's rad to see fans from 10 years ago and new fans that maybe are just now college age buying tickets to come to the show. So I don't know, it's not lost on us that we still have that teenage dream sensation in our guts, even though we're clearly not teenagers anymore. But
longevity is such an accomplishment in the music industry, and you guys have turned out hit after hit after hit, even starting back with your debut album. So for you, when you're looking at Favorite Days coming from this new unnamed album set to come out in 2024, how do you guys feel about that? I mean, this is number 5 for you guys.
Yeah, I think the industry has changed in terms of, and maybe my priorities have changed in terms of how I measure success. You're right. The first few albums of ours, we had a hit single from each one, and that's something you can't just make up out of thin air. It really is a rarity. And so I think for us, it's all about putting out music that we still love and that still speaks to our truth and what's going on in my life and what's going on in my friends' lives. And so with Favorite Days, it wasn't essentially putting it out to chart. It was more for the first time, it felt like this is the song that feels right to start this body of work. It feels like a bit of a mission statement. So I'm less, I don't know I hope I don't sound disingenuous, but I'm less so fixated on what number the song is at each week. And it's more, is it reaching people and connecting still to the people that care about the band's DNA? So.
I think that's an interesting aspect, because I think it has to be hard for you. I mean, I know you've gone through a personal journey and your bandmates have done that as well, but watching something where your first few albums are so similar in your style, because that's who you guys are, but doing something that really is a passion project has to bring more to that and continue to make you want to do this, right?
Yeah, you're right. And I think after 5 albums, it's I think if we were just making an Animal or an Everybody Talks over and over again, I think it would just get stale for us. I'm sure it would get stale for the listener too. And it's not to say that we're in much of a departure sonically. I think we still sound like the band, but I think there's just a little bit more rawness injected into it. And I think maybe that just comes with age. I'm older than I was when I wrote those songs. So.
Yeah, I mean, age and life obviously play into that. You get to pull from experience, and there's obviously going to be more to your music when you do that. The cool part is you're still going to play some of the old stuff, I'm sure, at these shows. Absolutely. You're going to be at the Vogue in Broad Ripple on October 1st. Have you guys ever been to the Vogue before?
We have not. No, I have grandparents that lived in Bloomington, so that's kind of my Indiana adjacent knowledge, but I'm excited. We rarely see Indianapolis on our tour routing, so I'm really excited to get there.
For you guys, when you're doing something like this, you've played big stadiums, you've played small stadiums, you've played intimate things. Do you have a favorite, or is it just every show is different and you kind of approach them differently?
Every show's different. Yeah. I mean, we still play the same way if we were in front of 10 people. I mean, we used to play like little cafeterias when no one knew us just to have an audience, or a pod at a college. So it's like we still kind of have this same quality or standard to our show, whether there's 10 or 10,000, you know? I think this tour is exciting for us because it is like clubs and theaters. So I think there's a bit more of a kinetic, tangible energy that we're going to be able to feel, which I always dig. I think I become a better, more energetic performer when there's that exchange, for sure.
Yeah. Well, we're running out of time. I do have one more question. I always like to ask people, if you're in the car and it's you by yourself, what are you listening to? What are you belting out with the windows down at the stoplight?
Probably the Smiths, but I'm really into the new Olivia Rodrigo. I'm not a teenager, but I love what she's doing, and I think she's bringing back an energy that I was familiar with in high school. So I think it's good that kids have that to look up to.
I'm a 34-year-old father of 2, and I'm still belting out Olivia Rodrigo. So Tyler, congratulations on the success and on the new tour. Thank you so much for taking some time to spend with us. If you make a chance to stop by on your way here in Indianapolis, we'd love to see you. Neon Trees at the Vogue October 1st as part of their Favorite Days tour, which runs September 15th through October 11th. Tickets and showtimes can be found at allindiana.tv. Tyler, best of luck. Thank you so much, my friend.
Thanks for having me.